Today I'm going to talk about LeetCode question number 25, reverse nodes in K group. So given the head of a linked list, reverse the nodes of the list K at a time and return the modified list. K is a positive integer and is less than or equal to the length of the linked list. If the number of nodes is not a multiple of K, then left out nodes in the end should remain as is. You may not alter values in the list nodes, only the nodes themselves may be changed. Okay. So basically this question is saying, given a k, which is an integer, like 2, as it is in this sample question, reverse the nodes of size 2. Okay, so this is size 2, this is size 2. This is not a multiple of k, so we leave it alone. And then basically we reverse those here, reverse those here, and leave this alone here. Okay, so that's how it is. And how are we going to do this? Especially only in a constant time, is through a series of pointers. So if we have this list here, we'll create a dummy node. Okay, and this will kind of make it easier for us. So we'll have a dummy node, and we'll point to the head initially. Okay. So what we're going to do is from this dummy node, we're going to count k nodes ahead. So if k is 2, 1, 2. Okay, so this is our kth node in the first group here. Okay. So now what we're going to do is we're going to keep track of the previous node in this group and the next node in this group. Okay. So this dummy node, it's going to be our previous. Or I'll call it. Okay, and then this here is group next. This 3 here, okay? So this is a group, here's a group previous, and a group next. So now what we want to do is reverse this group here. And this is going to be our kth node. Okay? So we can reverse this group, but what we want is this one to point here to group.next. Okay? We don't want it to point to, none or anything and break this chain of that we have in the linked list here. So what we're going to do is then reverse it, making sure that one's next is going to be group next. So once we do that, this will be our new list here. Okay, and remember this is the variable case and our group previous is pointing here, and this is our group next. Okay, simple enough there. And now what we want to do is connect our list previous to our case node. Okay, why do we want to do that? It may not be clear in this example, but let's say we have like 2, 1, 3, 4, 5. Imagine this is the next iteration in our loop, and instead of group previous being a dummy node here, group previous is now here. Okay, and then in our next iteration we reverse these. So what it will look like is, let me label this 2, 1, okay, and then 4, 3, 5. So this is what we changed. Okay, so this is a group previous, or actually, sorry, it won't look like this. It'll look like this. And this would be our kth node, and this is our group next. And then this will still be our kth node and group next. Okay, so now it'll look like this. So what we want to do is assign group previous dot next, okay, to be the kth here. So now what we want to do and it'll look like this. Okay, and then we want to make it that, and then in our next iteration, assign group previous to be kth here, or this guy here. Okay, so that's what we want to do here. And how do we keep track of this 3? Well, we can say, let's store this in a temporary variable before we assign group previous dot next to be 4. Okay, so before it was like this, and then we assign this in a temp variable, and then it'll look like this, and then we set the next iteration group pre to here. Okay, so that's why to prepare for next iteration and to link the previous list to the next list, we do that. Okay, so let's look at our first iteration here. So if group previous point to that, and then what we want is group previous dot next to be kth. So this guy dot next to be kth, and then assign group previous to this guy here. Okay, so that's how it's gonna be done. Yeah, in this first iteration doesn't make sense why we want to assign group previous to kth, but in the first iteration group previous is just a dummy node. Okay, so it doesn't matter where it goes. But as we prepare for a second iteration, now we assign group previous to be this actual value of 1 here. Okay, and then it'll make sense. Next iteration, where this will be k, and then we want group previous dot next to be k. And this will run in linear time. So now to code this up, so what I'm going to do first is initialize my list previous node, or I should say group previous node, and it's initially going to be an empty node here. this point to the head. It's next to point to the head. Okay, and what I'm also going to do is have a new head node here, and it's going to be group previous. It's just group previous is going to be jumping around all over the place, and new head will kind of stay static there, so I can properly return the new head as a reversed linked list. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is, while true, what I'm going to do is first is get kth node. So how I'm going to do that is starting from the dummy node here, or the group previous node. So if I have previous 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so starting from here, I'm going to jump 2 spaces ahead to get to k, or k spaces ahead to get to the kth node. So if k is 2 in this example here, it'll be 1, 2. Okay. So while k is not none and I is less than k, k is equals k dot next, and I plus equals 1. Okay. So I said this is a while true loop. How do we know when to break out of this while true loop? So basically, if k equals none, then break. Okay. So if we have our previous node, a group previous here, and if we try to go, k nodes ahead, we'll basically end up at none here. So that means we can't reverse those k groups since k is out of bounds. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is initialize my list next pointer. So my group next pointer, next is going to be equal to k dot next. Okay. I'm going to leave a comment here. Okay, so I have that. Now finally we can get to the reversing here. So to reverse, I'm going to set my previous pointer to group next. Okay, because if this is our previous pointer here, we want our current pointer, which I'm going to set in a second, to point here. And then current pointer is going to be equal to group previous dot next. Okay. Now I'm just going to quickly write up a reverse no linked list. So while current does not equal group next, okay, so while current does not equal group next, basically we're going to stop if the current pointer gets here because we don't want to reverse anymore. So how this will work is this guy will point to this guy, and then the current will get updated to here, then this guy will point to this guy, current will get pointed to here, this will point to this, current will get updated to here, but this is not part of, or sorry, I got confused with what my k value was. So this guy will point to this guy, okay? Then current will be here, this guy will point to this guy, okay? And then current will be here, but this is not part of our K group, so we stop here. So while that temporary equals cur.next, and then cur.next is equal to previous, and then previous is equal to current now, and current is equal to current dot next now. Okay, so we have that now. Now what we want to do is connect our list our group previous to groups next to the case. So how we're going to do that is the previous is going to be equal to case. Okay, remember, so if we were here in our iteration, we reverse these, so it will be like 4 and 3, then 1 will still be pointing to 3, but we want it to point to 4 now. Okay, and then what we're going to do now is, we need to prepare for the next iteration. Duplicate and update G3. So how we do that is G3.next. I forgot to add the next, and then gprev is going to be equal to 10. Okay, so assign a temporary variable because I don't want to lose gprevious.next. And then I assign gprevious.next to the kth node in the next list. And then I update gprev. Gprevious will be the previous node in our next K group of nodes. Okay, and then after that, those should be done here, and then we're going to return new head.next. Okay, so I'll try running the code here. What's wrong here? So I do 0, here's the C3. I have that, okay. And then I have gnext. Previous, current, that looks right. And well, current is not equal to group next. Oh, should be 10. Okay. Okay, now I'll use other test cases here. Okay, now I'll submit. Okay, great. Thanks for watching.